work works. Either it's working for you or it's working on you, turning you into the person that it'll work for. Yo, I'm Bryce the Third.
And I'm Liz McKean.
And you are now tuned in to the Rise, Recover, Live podcast. Here we dive into all the recovery stories from around the world.
And we talk about all pathways because there's no one right way to recover.
If you've been with us for a while, you know how powerful stories are. So get ready for your community to get just a little bigger today.
We are so glad that you're here. Let's get into the show.
Liz, what's up?
Bryce, chilling. I can't ever get away with that.
So we're not gonna keep y'all long today. We know you all have so many wonderful things to do in life, and we're just glad to be here along for your walk, your ride, your bike ride. You walking the baby around the zoo. I don't know what you do when you listen to our podcast, but we're just glad to be here with you.
If anybody's actually listening to this, though, they're walking their baby around the zoo, I'm going to need you to reach out to us. The phone number's in the episode description because I need to know if that's a thing. What are the chances?
Yeah, that'd be wild. Like, what? What? They know. ChatGPT. Yeah. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to have a little fun with it, man. We got some rapid fire questions we're going to ask each other. We don't know what the other is going to ask the other, and we just going to do it, man, and see what comes about that. Because, we're an example of the friendships that you can cultivate in recovery, and we're just going to do it out loud today. So nothing big, nothing small, but nothing big. And so, Liz, I'm going to ask you to lead the way.
Oh, I see what you just did there.
Yeah.
Turned it right around.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my friend. What is your go-to self-care ritual right now?
My go-to self-care ritual? I should probably take more care of self. I think, what's crazy though, I will say, and it's going to sound like that's not self-care, but and I could actually do this too. So this is called a full focus planner, people. And it is like the pivotal organizational tool for those guys and gals with ADHD. And this helps me to keep everything focused. It's a quarterly planner. And so it helps me keep my goals in order. And, I got weekly reflections and, it's got things that it challenges me to do. Rejuvenation, identify 3 ways to sleep, eat, move, connect, and relax a bit better this week than scheduled on the daily pages. It really helps me to get my life in order. And you can tell if I'm taking care of myself when my journal is like that. And when my journal looks like that is when I'm on bullshit.
That's some solid self-care.
But and I'll put the link for this full focus planner in the description of the podcast. Yeah. And it'll actually be an affiliate link because I am an affiliate for this plan.
Really? Oh, that's funny. I was going to be like, man, we got to reach out for some sponsorship here.
I will never say the name of something that doesn't sponsor us. But technically, Full Focus Planner sponsors this podcast because it sponsors one of the hosts. So I will shoot my affiliate link in the bottom. But yeah, this has been a game changer. One of the biggest things they had that really excited me was rolling calendars. They stopped that, but it's just where you see the entire year on one page. And then therefore, hey, Bryce, can you come speak here? Bryce, can you come teach here? Bryce, can you da-da-da-da? I can look in one glance, and if there's a little mark in that box, then it's I can't do it. But if it's not, then boop, I got you down. And it just really eased my life up. But yeah, this thing lets me know that I've taken care of myself this week if there's words in it.
Well, I'm literally looking at my bookshelf and the graveyard of planners and notebooks that were supposed to change my life. So
trust me, I can go down the entire list. Yeah. I don't know why this one didn't. I think this one is a combination of, yes, it has the tools that I need, specifically the rolling calendars and the ability to see all of the year in one. But it also is a combination of me sticking with it over the years. And it's every year, I promise you, I've started so many of these and then got halfway through a quarter and then just didn't anymore. Yeah. But then the next quarter came and it's let me pick it up and try again. It's probably my 3rd year doing it. And this year, at the top of the year, I bought 4 at the get-go. And one of my goals this year is to like manage my year, all 4 quarters, using these planners. And it's this other one called it's called the Big Ass Calendar. It's like literally like this. That's what it's called. I'm not, no hyperbole. It's like literally just the biggest calendar. It's on my wall in my room, and it's the same thing where you just see the entire year on one page.
I feel like I need some of that. I'm like my space is covered in Post-it notes and everything, and like I'm like, why don't I like actually put something? Although I feel like I've tried that before. I don't know. I also get bored with things really quickly. I don't know if this happens to your ADHD brain. My ADHD brain will be like, this is it. This is great. I'll be excited for a week. And then it's like it disappears from my view.
Yeah. It happened to me this quarter, especially with a couple of things like practicing the piano. I noticed towards the end of this quarter, like there were certain things that I was doing, and I got past it. Like, this is exciting to like really get into like the practicing part. And it's like, okay, this is just what I do. And towards the end of the quarter, like I just stopped doing them. And what ended up happening was like, then there was this invisible force field over the thing. So now I just can't touch it. Like I just cannot sit down at the piano. And somebody challenged me, that actually my girl, she challenged me to like, and it wasn't a challenge, and she knows me too. She was like, while I make breakfast, it was Saturday, while I make breakfast, can you play the piano for me? And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I did that. And then afterwards, I'm like, damn, that felt good to get back. Like I said, she was like, yeah, I know, I haven't heard you play in a minute.
She is so smart.
I know that you would have been like, no, if I said something like, hey, you haven't practiced the piano in a minute. And so like she hacked it. And so, yeah. So now I'm back practicing the piano. But yeah, it was a good like 3 weeks where it's like I wanted to so bad, but it's like this invisible force field. Like I'm just gonna suck when I do it. I don't want to even. I'm not gonna be the same, and whatever.
It starts to feel like homework. It starts to feel like somebody's telling you what to do, even though literally nobody is. It's only you that want to actually do it. It's such a weird thing. What a weird brain.
Yeah. All right, my turn. What's one thing that surprised you about entering into recovery?
Gosh, I feel like I can't. It's hard to pick one. That's how many things were surprising. I guess I was surprised like when I realized I didn't want to drink anymore. Like I was surprised when that went away. I remember I used to, when I was driving, I used to like look for liquor stores. Like it was almost like they became neon, you know, it was like they were jumping out at me everywhere. And I was just so accustomed to like making sure I always knew where they were, especially if I traveled. And there was a day I was driving and I was like, I don't even know where the nearest liquor store is. I haven't even noticed. I'm not looking at, you know, when you go by like strip malls, they got the big sign of everything's on there. I haven't read one of those, you know, like in so long. And I was like, holy crap, I don't even want to. And I remember that was a shocking moment. Like I continue to feel shocked. That's how shocked I was in that moment. And that was years ago. Yeah, it was a good feeling.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll just pick the one. Okay. Look at that. See, that's rapid fire. That's rapid. I like this for you. What is a song that instantly lifts your mood?
A song that instantly lifts my mood immediately. Sunshine by Salt. If anybody is a Cleo Soul fan, she's one of the ones that, you know, whether it's Why Don't You or what is it? I had to grow the rose in the dark. Salt is like this anonymous band out of the UK. Like nobody knows who they are, but we all know that that's Cleo Soul's soul drenching, healing, sultry voice. But they got a song called Sunshine, SONSHINE. By Salt, SAULT. Let the sun shine on my pain so we can fly. It's my joint.
I'm uplifted.
Yeah, every time I hear it, I promise you. Yeah. If I'm in a good mood, like that's the song that pops in my head.
That's good. That's like, have you seen, I saw this online. Somebody was talking about a thing that or like a girl in their class that she would like, I don't even remember what she did. I think she made like a clicking sound every time she had like a happy thought. And so later it was like, it's like she was just, so she would like notice every time she had a happy thought, or maybe she'd snap or something like that. I'm totally butchering this. And then, you know, later if she was needing a little boost, she would like do that thing because it just like kind of tricked her brain into being like, we must be happy right now. And somebody was like, she Pavloved herself. And I'm like, that's such a good point. You know what I'm talking about when I say that?
I mean, Pavlov dogs.
Because Pavlov did the thing where he rang the bell and gave the dog a treat. And he did that long enough that then like all he had to do was ring the bell and the dog would salivate. It's like just like getting that all immediate reaction. So she Pavloved herself, like tricked her brain into being like, when you hear this, you're happy. I feel like I want to do that.
Yeah, man. I know she probably go through. I know her classmates was probably like, "Why is you clicking?" Because I make so many noises, and there's been a couple of environments I'm in. Like, what is the clicking that you're doing? What is that click?
I'm Pavloving myself. Leave me alone.
I didn't even know I did it. Like, this is what I do when I'm happy, babe. Like, leave me alone.
It's adorable.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see here. What's a guilty pleasure TV show or movie you love?
So up until recently, I would have said the Kardashians. I've always kept up with the Kardashians.
Oh my goodness!
I'm kind of off my Kardashian. It's like I've lost my taste for it. I mean, I don't really feel guilty about any of the things. I don't feel guilty about that either, though. So I mean,
guilty, schmilty. I mean, you know what we be saying. Like, what's? I'm thinking you going Hallmark. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
Oh yes, Christmas that movies. Is the one. Oh, Christmas Hallmark movies, which I would just like to say, it's gotten very trendy to be a Christmas Hallmark girly, and like I think I did it before it was cool.
Oh, you the OG.
Yeah, it was really uncool when I started doing it, actually. But you know what's amazing though is Billy's obsessed with them now.
Yeah,
obsessed, like more than me, like to the point that I was like, all right, we gotta give it a break, buddy.
Well, if it helps at all, any bit, like it's still very uncool to me. So,
oh, that does help. Thanks. Still very uncool. Oh, it's amazing. Nice. Yeah. Anyways, they're actually making Bills. So they did one with the Chiefs this past Christmas. Did the Chiefs like get the football team branded kind of Hallmark Christmas movie?
Like Pat Mahomes in a Hallmark Christmas movie?
Yeah. It was people were like, oh, it's like a Taylor Swift story, but it wasn't at all that. But it was like a blonde girl and a guy. But there wasn't, one of the football players was not the guy. It was just it was a family that was obsessed with the Chiefs, and some of the Chiefs were in it. Mind right now, they're doing it with the Bills next Christmas, and Billy is like Bills fan, you know, extraordinaire, which all of them are, but like his family said season tickets, like all the things. Anyway, so it's like they heard that Billy McKean was into Hallmark Christmas, and they're like, what can we do that would make him so happy? And then they picked the perfect thing.
My goodness. I think I'm going to stick to just watching Space Jam on repeat.
That's a good one too. And cool.
All right.
If it makes you feel any better.
Your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. I'm sorry. I screwed that up. I keep taking us on. Okay. Oh my God. These are this list was made for you. Although I don't know if you'll be able to pick one. I need you to pick one. Book, show, or podcast that's changed how you think.
I know we on a recent episode I mentioned I think it wasn't John Hope. What's his name? It's called
The Money Guy, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up though because I want to recommend this to people because I think it'll be good to recommend. It is.
He's a podcaster, so,
right? John Hope Bryant. It's called Money and Wealth. It's on the Black Effect Network. I think that's Charlamagne the Guy's network. But it's a really good financial podcast in a way that it just gives like financial literacy, but not like here's the terms that you need to know, and 2 + 2 = 4 unless it's compounded, then it might equal triple that. It's like here's the history of money. This is why like we use like currency to trade. This is what enterprise is. This is what free market is, and not like the words. But let's talk a second, and let's really break this down. You know,
it's like putting meaning behind something that can feel just overwhelming and meaningless. You know,
yeah. You know, like I was somewhere the other day, and you know, this guy. He's a super performative guy, and no judgment, but just like he was just super loud, like ha ha ha, yeah. What's my return of investment on that? Yeah. What's the APR on that? Yeah. And it's like bro, like
your voice game is really like you're just crushing it today.
You're getting there, isn't it? Yeah. I'm telling you, voiceover. Watch what happened. I'm telling you, I'm about to break into the industry. I'm for real. Anybody listening to this that has any type of advocacy within the voiceover realm, hit Bryce the Third up. I'm trying to crack.
He's good. He's the best. I'd hire him.
Yeah, man. But it's just like, what is a term? Like a term, like nobody talks like that. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me like a person who's trying to figure out like how to create things and contribute and serve and feed my family and not feel anxious because, my son's 18, but I didn't have a college fund for him. And, then show me how to set something up for my daughter so that she can have more opportunities than me. And like there's emotional like implications behind all that. Yeah. So that's a dope podcast. Let's see. Book.
I said one. No, you had to pick one.
No, hell no.
I didn't say one of each.
What?
I said one.
So many people are listening to the show that are not going to get these great recs.
Okay.
You're going to deprive them and starve them. I'm not going to dive deep. Just know that if this is a Bryce the Third recommendation, you got to go. It's
something that Bryce the Third admires.
I'm not
Bryce the Third very much.
I'm not gonna recommend this. I'm not gonna recommend anything unless I know you in general. And so because I don't know you all individually, I'm going to recommend things that anybody can pick this up for real. And so the Midnight Library, it's a book. It's fiction, and Bryce don't read fiction. Bryce reads nonfiction. So if I'm to recommend a fiction book, it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, it's entertaining.
Speaking of the third person, then Bryce is serious about it.
You started this. I don't know.
Did I?
You started this. And then I can't recommend a show that's gonna be great for everybody. I'll probably sound like I feel like recommending Severance is like recommending like pumpkin spice latte these days. I didn't know it was such a hyped up show, but I like it. It's like a Twilight Zone-y movie or show. Severance.
No, thank you. Not for me.
You don't like the Twilight Zone?
I don't like anything that makes me feel scared. I feel scared enough in
Twilight Zone wasn't like scary.
It's like horrifying. I feel like any like little pieces of Twilight Zone, because it would be like, oh, what's going on? And all of a sudden it'd be like the world is over and you're walking down the street and there's no hope for tomorrow. And it's like,
no.
Next episode.
It should be weird. It should be weird stuff. Like I just love like stuff that's like, what if life was that? What if life was,
Tune into like my nightmares and like there's your entire like season of Twilight Zone episodes.
The world is vegetables now. Like, oh no.
Oh my gosh, whose turn is it? Your turn.
Let's see. We'll do two more.
So one each?
Yeah, one each.
Okay.
Has freedom always meant the same thing to you? And if not, what does freedom mean to you now in comparison to what it's meant to you before?
It's definitely not meant the same thing. Always. Because I don't think I ever really gave it a whole lot of thought before. I mean, I feel like we, grew up saying the Pledge of Allegiance and everything in school. And it was just like, this is the land of the free or whatever. And just didn't really put any thought into it because I was just a dumb kid. And then during and post like recovery has changed it a lot because I feel like I could like feel it for real when I stopped drinking and then didn't want to anymore. Like, honestly, I don't think I was able to actually even find recovery until I could have that feeling of freedom in me, because even though it was like, I'm going to die if I don't stop doing this thing, I had to feel like I was free to choose before I could do it in a way that was going to like actually stick. And then when that happened, it was like, oh, and now I have this life of freedom because I'm not relying on that thing. And I think I'm constantly redefining it. It's a big word for me. It's a big one. I feel like I'm constantly finding ways to, this is a very Glennon Doyle thing. But the whole idea of there's a lot of times where we're the ones holding the key to the lock, that we think that we're trapped, in a room. And it's just like you were holding the key the whole time, kiddo. I find myself doing that more and more, realizing the moments that I do that more and more, which finding those freedoms. Have we had Ed Henning on the show? I know we've tried to, but scheduling has gotten in the way.
Him on. I don't think we ever got him on.
No, well, he's like the coolest. And he's spoken. I'm gonna share this just because I know he's spoken about it publicly, and like any time I've ever talked to him. And he's just like the most wonderful human. So he has talked about he was in prison for I think 21 years. And got out and has changed the world every single day since he's been out. And Ambry talked about how he was incarcerated way before he ever got arrested, just like in his mind. And then he was free way before they let him out of prison, because that all happened in his mind. And I don't think I don't think either of those would be as like hard hitting for me if he hadn't said both of them. You know what I mean? That the incarceration happened regardless of bars, and the freedom happened regardless of lack of bars, and like that was always really powerful.
Yeah. Same for me too. Because like when you first said when you said the first part, it's like okay, yeah, that's a bar. But then when you said the second part, it's like oh yeah, that's a bar.
Yeah. Okay, I got one more for you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's weird for us to just like jump topics like this. This is kind of fun.
I like it because it kind of keeps us moving. Because I feel like if I was to expound on the question that I asked you, we
would be still be on the first question. Yeah, we both would have gone back and forth. Anyways, which I love that about us, but this is fun. What is I always say this wrong. Mantra or mantra? Mantra. I always have to do that. See, it's like GIF and GIF. I always have to say both. What is a mantra or quote? And I'm a freaking yoga teacher. How embarrassing. Mantra or quote you come back to often? Or maybe one that's just meaningful to you today. Maybe both.
No, so the first ones that come to mind are the tools. It's the tools. I call them. I don't call them anything, but I'm about to call them something right now. I like my compassion tools. Everybody doing the best they can with what they've been given. I don't have a monopoly on what's right. I can show up for life on life's terms. The ones that allow for me to like be here, those are the ones that I find myself saying the most. There's one that I got from Myron Golden, who was a mentor of mine for a period of time, that all work works. All work works. Either it's working for you or it's working on you, turning you into the person that it'll work for. And, once again, they all usually have the theme of like allowing me to be here, because that's even that. It's like, why is it not happening yet? I want to be,
Acceptance.
Yeah, and it's just like, yo, you got to pace yourself, because this is what's turning you into the person that you asked to be, and like this will come with it, and it's not gonna come in a bow or in a box with a bow. Yeah. And if it did, like you as soon as you unwrap it, you order something else.
You just play with the box.
you know how I got like I don't know if you ever been in a way of like what they call it, retail therapy. But it's like I see something, I'm excited about it, and I get it, and like the most exciting part for me is like it being on the way, and then when it gets there, it's just like it's here. I open it up and look at it, and it's just like, okay, cool.
I've seen research on that about a lot of things that like, it's just like, I'm always looking into dopamine because ADHD, but there's like the release doesn't happen when the thing happens or when you get the thing or whatever. It's the before.
They did the thing with the monkeys. It was like they had them doing like the slot machine. Or like the slot machine action, basically like you do this thing and every 10th time something happens that rewards you, and they measure like the dopamine levels, and the dopamine levels were the highest when it was just doing it, but did nothing come out. But when it came out, like it didn't even hit when it came out,
So interesting.
Yeah,
that's wild. I feel like I've seen that with like addiction studies too, where it's just like there's a level like the with cravings and things like that, where there's a level of like you feel better just getting the thing or whatever, which is just like so. There's just so many ways that our brains are just.
That's why, and I think that's definitely a whole another episode. I feel like we could dive into kind of that conversation around like satiation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In a podcast, it's about like addiction and recovery and like what is your relationship with being satisfied?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother time for sure.
Yeah, sure is. Ooh, I feel uncomfortable. Like it's like so funny that just like gave me a sense of being uncomfortable and unsatiated.
Putting it down now.
Putting it down.
Episode. Do you got one more question for me? I think no. I mean, you just asked me that. It was
the
question.
Quote. Yeah.
And so now I got one more for you.
I think we did our two, unless there's one that you're dying to ask.
All right, rapid fire questions. Mornings or nights?
Oh my God, that was on mine too.
Well,
how funny is that?
The same robot.
I prefer mornings.
Different skin. Coffee or tea?
Oh, it's on mine too.
I'm telling you. All right, everybody. The cat's out the bag. We asked ChatGPT to like give us some questions to ask each other.
I thought we were friends. Tea.
Gym or meditation? Now you know the rest of the questions, don't you? Because you got all these.
Nope, I don't have that on there. Gym.
Solo reflection or deep conversation?
Depends on the day.
What does that mean?
There's days that I want to have a deep conversation, and there's days that I want to just be by myself in my own mental conversation. Okay. Sometimes both happens, different parts of the day. I like both. I can't pick. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Books or podcasts?
Podcasts.
Okay. Favorite way to spend a Saturday?
I like doing yoga. I like going to spin class. I like going for walks. I like getting something yummy takeout for dinner and hanging out with Billy and Griffin.
What's one superpower you wish you had?
Wow, I feel like that's the thing I should know.
I know for sure.
And I feel embarrassed because I don't want to pick one that would be like, I want to heal the world, because that should be the one that I want. I really want to fly. In my dreams, sometimes I can fly. And also, I don't like flying on airplanes. I don't know why I would like that. I'd probably get seasick, or motion sick. But it's always really fun in dreams.
Yeah.
My favorite part of Peter Pan when they're flying over the city, like with Wendy.
In the cartoon?
I don't know what it was. I think so, yeah.
Okay. And finally, last but not least.
Okay.
What's your guilty pleasure snack?
I don't feel guilty about any of my snacks, first of all. But I do like to take a spoon and have a scoop of peanut butter and then scoop up some jelly and eat it from a spoon.
Skip the sandwich. Go straight to just the peanut butter and jelly. Mm-hmm. Unlike you, Liz, I do feel guilty sometimes. And Nutella on a butter knife is like, that's when you know. I try to do it for anybody come to the kitchen. Like,
are those going to be? Is that going to happen on the same days where your planner's empty? is that a part of the indication? And you haven't practiced
It's
piano?
like just two pages of the planner stuck together from drips of Nutella.
From all the Nutella. Oh no!
And that ends our 20 questions rapid fire, whatever the freak episode this is. We hope that you had as much of a good time with us as we had with each other. And if you made it this far, you are our people. We love you.
You're the peanut butter to our jelly.
On a spoon, no bread. Mm-hmm. And download the New Form app, pop on there, hop into the Rise Recover Live podcast space,